Welcome back to part B. In this part, we're going to be looking at Max Weber's views on the term bureaucracy. The word bureaucracy is usually seen in a negative way, and I understand why. When I first came to this country and I thought of bureaucracy, I thought of what it was like to stand in line and wait for help at a Tisa lot. That was bureaucracy. It takes a long time to get something done, and you have to go through 8,000 steps, and then they tell you what you did was not right, and so you have to do it all over again, and you're like, that's bureaucracy. In bureaucracy, there are often lots of rules, and when you think of there being lots of rules, you can see it negatively, or you can see it as a way to treat everyone fairly. In bureaucracy, there should be no nepotism. Nepotism simply means hiring relatives to work under you. When there was a talk I went to back in 2010, Majid Al-Futtaim came to speak at UAU, I believe it was 2010, and in his talk, he talked about why it was important not to have relatives reporting directly to you, serving on boards that oversee his companies. He talked about why that was important, because he said you can't be fair if you're dealing with a relative. If you're dealing with somebody you love, you can't treat them fairly. And so this is part of what Max Weber taught. Weber also believed that there should be lots of rules. I think I've already said that. And he believed that there should be standard operating procedures for almost everything that you do. He very much believed that everyone in the business has a very specific role, and that person should be expected to do that role, and you can't ask them to do things beyond that role. That's their role, that's what they're supposed to do, let them do it. So in this way, he's kind of similar to the American Frederick Taylor and the French guy Henri Fayol. Also similar to points that Henri Fayol made, he also believed within bureaucracy, Max Weber in bureaucracy also believed that there should be a clear hierarchy, that you should be able to have a clear line of authority, which is how Henri Fayol put it. He believed that the selection process, how you choose people to come work for you, should be very fair and treat everyone equally. Also, the reward system, how you treat your employees, reward them, give them money, give them whatever, should be done in the most fair and impartial way possible. Max Weber was born and raised in Germany, formerly Prussia, whatever part of Germany, and to my knowledge, he never came to the Arab world, and to my knowledge, he would not, never, I don't know. From what I know, he never came to this part of the world. So I'm quite certain he's never heard the word Wasta. Now, for those of you who don't know the word Wasta, which I'm sure most everyone in the class does know what Wasta is, Wasta means kind of like connections, having connections to something. But Wasta is really more than just connections. Connections are something that's real across the business world, all over the world. The difference with Wasta, and for the record, connections are valuable. If you are rich and have important people that can help you in America, congratulations, you're going to live a better life than if you don't. So that's true in America, that's true around the world. What takes Wasta one step more is the fact that I've heard of examples of people who have been hired for jobs for which they're not even remotely qualified to do, and that's not a good thing. As an American, I would argue that the President of the United States, currently Donald Trump, should not have members of his family advising him on political matters, because he can't fire his daughter, he can't fire his son-in-law, and yet they are influential people within his administration. That's kind of dangerous. So the point is, Henri Fayot didn't believe in nepotism, and although he didn't live here and doesn't know the word Wasta, I am quite certain he would not approve of Wasta. So, bureaucracy is a word that has a bad reputation, but if you think about it, it actually makes sense. The ideas of bureaucracy make sense. Next up in part C is looking at Max Weber's ideas on authority.